Thrilled to have to tell you why their defense didn't get the job done. He'd like to be playing right now, I think. But he's a former star at Oklahoma and played defensive tackle for the Saints for 13 years from 1973 through 1985. Went on to play for the Jets, Pro Bowl player in '83, inducted into the Saints Hall of Fame in 1991, and has been inducted into the state of Missouri's Hall of Fame as well. He played in 171 games, 8th all-time in Saints history. And, of course, we're happy to have him with us here today. I'll tell you a little bit about the Saints. Please give a warm welcome to Saints Hall of Famer Derland Moore. Derland?
Thank you, Kenny. If you saw the same game I saw yesterday, wouldn't you just want me to tell you some more war stories? You know, I wore my pink tie here today. It's not on how we played yesterday, but to remind you how we played when I was playing. I mean, these kids out there right now, they don't have a head coach. They don't even have an assistant head coach. They don't have a general manager, and they're out there busting their tails. And they've been competitive, but they've got to cut down on their mistakes, as you saw yesterday. Offensively, I think Drew Brees is trying to carry the whole load himself, and he's pushing a little bit. I mean, he doesn't make mistakes like he did down at the goal line, throwing an interception for a TD. Defensively, we're going to have to tighten up. Defensive-wise, I saw some defensive linemen that looked like they were playing DB. I mean, they were really knocked off the ball, and there were some holes in there that I could run through, and I can't run anymore. But I think that given a little bit of time and a little adjustment, I mean, you can't take a decapitated organization and expect them to go on like there's no tomorrow. Sean Payton, I mean, a head coach, especially the quality that you have with Sean Payton, is very, very important to any team. That's the reason they get paid the big dollars. You have to have somebody there who's in a position of authority. I went through 4 coaching changes during the season, 4, and none of them are good. And that's from a head coach getting fired to one of the assistants taking over. And I think out of that total, I think we won maybe 3 games after the coaching change. So I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen to us, because I think you got a lot of character out there on this team. I believe that they're going to reconnect, and then they're going to win some games. But right now, it's just these kids, they got their plow hung in tough ground. I know you're saying, well, for $100 million, you know, you should expect, you know, I mean, they could go on. Well, it still makes a lot of difference having a head coach there who commands the respect of every kid on the team. If you saw during the first game, you saw where they had I think it was 3 motion penalties right, you know, before the snap of the ball. That never happened under Sean Payton. He set them on the bench. Right now, that's not happening. And I mean, the guy who's there, I'm not saying he's bad. He's an offensive line coach, and he doesn't want the position, but he did it for the team. And it's just something they're going to have to overcome in order for us to salvage any part of this season. We're not going to the Super Bowl. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Make the playoffs would be a stretch right now. But the thing about it is to be competitive, yes, I think that's possible. That's about it. Unless y'all want to tell me some more want me to tell you some more war stories. But you any questions?
Raise your hand.
This is an easy crowd, Kenny.
Defensive issues more about personnel or about scheme or both?
Defensive, Kenny, I didn't see people out of position defensive-wise. I saw people getting blocked. I saw people getting knocked off the ball. That's strictly that's a talent issue, and it's a want-to issue. You know, 95% of tackling is the want-to. It's 5% talent, 95% want-to, and that's just the way it is. They've got to really want this, and I don't know whether they're having trouble catching on to Coach Spagnolia's defense or what, but it's not working right now. You're down there at the goal line, and there's a hole at the middle twice that you could drive a car through, and that shouldn't happen ever. Do you have a? Okay, well, thank you very much.
You guys are really passive today. No questions at all. Incredible. Of course, the Saints, Kansas City this weekend. By the way, it's our alumni weekend, Hall of Fame weekend. This coming Friday, we'll be inducting Tom Benson and Deuce McAllister into the Saints Hall of Fame. That's at a noon luncheon in the Superdome, in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, Bienville Club Room. And we'll also be honoring Jim Henderson with the Joe Gemelli Florida Lee Award. That's Monday at noon. And we still have a few tickets available. If you have any interest, you can talk to me. I'll be more than happy to help you with that. But that's this coming Friday at noon in the Dome. Tom Benson, Deuce McAllister being inducted into the Saints Hall of Fame. Jim Henderson being honored with the Joe Gemelli Florida Lee Award. On Saturday evening, we have our All Saints Night Gala, which is at the Rivertown Exhibition Hall in Kenner. That's from 6 to 10. It's catered by 22 restaurants. We'll have alumni from all over the country attending that. Saints executives as well. And we have tickets available for that as well. Those are $50. And it's like an indoor zoo to do. It's a great opportunity to enjoy food, great company, and meet a lot of people. The game on Sunday, of course, against the Chiefs at noon. We'll have Deuce appearing at the Saints Hall of Fame Museum from 10 a.m. to 11:15, signing autographs. We have an alumnus at each and every home game doing that at the museum, which is located at Gate B on the plaza level of the Superdome. And we're open on game days to all ticket holders free, starting 3 hours before each game and for 45 minutes after each game. So Deuce will be there from 10 a.m. until 11:15. And then, of course, our alumni will be honored on field in the pregame, all introduced on the field. And then at halftime, our inductees will be honored on the field in a ceremony as well. I understand the Ole Miss Band will be performing at halftime, too, at the game this coming Sunday. So all that coming up this weekend. Again, if you have any interest, you can talk to me about the Saints Hall of Fame weekend with all the alumni in town. And, of course, Derland Moore, Saints Hall of Fame alumnus, as is Archie Manning, who is here today. Reminder about the Archbishop Hannon Classic games. Make sure you get out and see one of these games Thursday night, Brother Martin and John Ehret. Friday afternoon, De La Salle and Jesuit. And Friday night, Holy Cross and Archbishop Shaw. For that matter, get out and see high school games, period. They're great. I thoroughly enjoy it 34 years in and continue to plan to do so for many, many years to come. I want to thank Verge Osbury for making the trip down and dealing with weather today. I hope he doesn't have the same thing to deal with going back. And we really appreciate Verge coming down once a year. I want to thank Doug Lichtenberger, who's a great friend of ours and provides us with speakers weekly from Tulane, as he will again next week. And thank him for being here. And again, continue to keep Devon Walker in your prayers and his family in this incredibly difficult situation. And listen, everybody wants to know more because they care. At the same time, when you're dealing with things of this nature, there's no way you can project and be accurate with anything that you're going to say until you get absolute, positive, clear word from the medical people involved. So the best thing you can do at this point, it's good to be curious, and that's great, but it's to pray for his family and for him at this particular point in time. I want to thank Derland for being here and appreciate him. He's got good company too, so he's doing well. He's enjoying the food right now. And also I want to thank Benny Jones for bringing the Archbishop Hannon Classic back and getting everybody involved again this year. Before we close out today, we can tell you two things. Number one, make sure you get your parking ticket stamped before you leave. Get that stamp validated so your parking's free. Do that at the front desk where you walked into the restaurant. Two, next week, among those that will be here, Coach Charlie Baglio of LSU will, I'm sure, have a few jokes when he's here next week. Tyrone Hughes will represent the Saints here next week. I'm not sure about Tulane yet. Doug will let me know during the course of the week. And, of course, we'll have a high school coach, looks like Jabbar Jalouk of Edna Carr, who's awfully good, here next week as well. And with regard to any other questions, if you have any, you can ask me right now. Otherwise, remind you that sportsnola.com is where we post all the videos and have all the speakers listed. Again, that's at sportsnola.com. Make sure you check that out. And once again, congratulations to Tanner Lee, our R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, WGSO, sportsnola.com, and WGNO Television Prep Player of the Week for the metro area for this week. Feeling any other questions? Since people have been very quiet today. Good to see Jack Laborde here today from the All-State Sugar Bowl. And good to have all of you here. So we'll let you continue to eat and enjoy yourselves. And since we've been short-winded today, take your time. Have a good time. Thanks for being here. Be here next week. God bless you.